Coventry, and I'm with another one of our British skating legends today. With former 5 mile British champion and world bronze medalist, but we'll get to that later. But I'm with Graham Stead, who's, I believe, he's 83 years young or 84 years young.
That's right.
And so, just want to understand, Graham. First of all, thanks for taking time out to talk to me. So, but what I want to know to start with is, how did you get into speed skating or roller skating?
That was during my time in the RAF. I was at Stafford, and they had a roller rink there in an old church hall, and the lad says the rest of the hut said we're going roller skating. So I thought, well, it's something that I've never done. So we used to spend a couple of nights a week down there and learning to skate. And somebody says there's a big roller rink in Birmingham, you say. Well, it was only a 10 or 15 mile minute walk to get there from where I lived. So I went down there. By then I'd got my own skates.
How old was you then?
Well, I was 18, wasn't I? 18,
Yeah.
18, 19. It's where I met anyway.
Yeah. So that was the Embassy Rink in Birmingham?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was you living in Arthur Street at the time?
Yeah.
So you used to go to the rink, but when did you start to do the speed skating? How did that come about?
Well, what was his name? I can't remember his name. He was lived up the road from me.
Mm.
Can we cut it for a minute?
Yeah.
It's all right. I met Ron Wild down the roller rink, and we used to go down there and have a cup of tea and have a chat to one or two of the lads. And I went up there one week, and he joined the club, the speed club.
Was that the Birmingham club?
Birmingham club.
Right.
Bunny Bennett and all them.
Yeah.
And so he said, well, why don't you join? He said, you come down here quite often. So this is what I did.
So you was about 18, 19 then?
Yeah.
So I know from the records that I've got, when you was about 19, 20, you joined the NSA, and joined the club.
Yeah.
So do you remember your first race? Can you remember your first race at all? Or
First race was the mile at Leicester, was it?
There was yeah, I think it might have been actually at Granby Halls, yeah.
Granby Halls, yeah.
Yeah, and that was your first race.
Yeah.
I see your first race, the championships. I didn't realise.
Oh,
And you did all right there.
did I?
Well, I think so. Yeah, I mean, very quickly. Well, I know when I look at it that you got good very quickly, because I think that was about 1950, 1951. You got your first silver medal in the Midland Counties.
That's right. Yeah.
And first was Bunny Bennett. Don't know if you remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah. And third was Ken Law, a guy called Ken Law.
He was from the Leicester club.
He was, yeah. And that was it. So, do you remember the race? Your first?
Oh, I remember the race. Yeah.
Yeah. So
my actual first race, I fell down in the heat.
Oh.
Because it was that blooming slippery.
Yeah.
So and that was my first. But my first race, as you said,
yeah.
I did come second.
The Midland Counties, yeah. Do you remember racing against Bunny Bennett? Was it close? Was it?
Well, I think it was.
Yeah.
Because I was fast catching up with, because he was the top guy at the time.
Oh, was he? What, with the Birmingham club?
Yeah.
Right.
And he sort of pulled me on, because I was determined to beat him one way or
Right.
another.
Well, the next year was again, it was the Northern and Midland Counties Championship. Again on Granby Halls, and again you were second, and this time it was Leo Eason who won it, and Bob Tankard, I think, was third.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But you must have loved Granby Halls. You said it was I think he loved it because a lot of your early medals were there, but you reckon it wasn't that good a rink?
It wasn't. It was very slippery. Well, they used to do dancing on there. If they weren't roller skating, they used to wax the floor and carry on. So what happened was it just got slippier and slippier.
So you must have been good with the slip then, to hold the slip.
Oh yeah. Well, you got used to it. You sort of
Yeah.
got to the peak of the bend,
Yeah.
and you were sort of slipping out then. So you pulled yourself back in and struggled on down. You were crossing your legs
Yeah.
and diving down, but you're making very slow progress
Right.
because it was that slippery.
Was it a small rink? Because I never went to the Granby Halls rink as such.
It wasn't a very big ring.
Mm.
I can't remember the laps. Can't remember the laps.
But I know, as I said, you of the year, a year later, 1953. Now they had the half mile on Granby Halls, and the half mile championship, and you were second in that. And then in 54 you were third. But in 53, Jackie Reeves won the half mile, and you were second. Was that a close race?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you were spending all your time trying to keep up, stand up,
Right.
because it was that slippery. You were sort of pushing away at it, and you're getting nowhere. It was a terrible ring.
So I think Charlie Appleby was third in '53 when you, but you were still you must have been getting quite, like I said, quite good quite quickly because you hadn't been skating that long really, for a couple of years, and yet here you are in the championships and you're getting seconds and thirds. What do you remember of Jackie Reeves?
Pardon?
What do you remember of Jackie Reeves?
Jackie.
Yeah.
He was in the Broadway club.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was all right.
Yeah.
He was very fast.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sort of got a natural, I think he got a natural rhythm of being able to stand up on slippy floors, because the Broadway club was more or less exactly the same as the Leicester club, long and thin.
Right. Oh, the rink.
The rink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because funny enough, it was in '54 when you were third. It was Dennis Hill who won,
Yeah.
and Jackie Reeves was second. So you think Granby Hall suited the Broadway skaters?
Oh yeah, it did, because he had more or less, more or less the same laps, and it was the same slippy floor. Because I used to do dancing on that one at Cricklewood Broadway.
Right. How did you get on with Dennis Hill and Jackie Reeves then?
Very well.
Yeah.
We used to have a good time with them. We used to always finish up at the bar at that night.
Was that what it was like back then? Was it after the racing you used to go and have a drink with everybody?
Well, at the Palace there used to be a club that used to be open till, I can't remember whether it was 11 o'clock or past 11.
Yeah.
And when the bar closed at the Palace, everybody used to walk round the corner to the pub, just round the corner.
Was it a good social life then, was it then, with the
Oh,
skating?
it was very good social life,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, so...
What about when you ended up at somebody's flat?
Pardon?
You used to end up at somebody's flat, and
Oh yeah,
Who was that?
one of the Broadway lot
Oh.
used to take them round to their flat or their house, and we used to end up in a glorious party.
So everybody was quite close then, really, even from the other clubs.
Oh yeah, it was Well, some of them were a bit standoffish, but most of the London clubbers from the ring, the roller skaters, we used to get on with them quite well.
Was there anybody you didn't get on with?
I can't remember.
That's very diplomatic.
We didn't argue, we didn't row or anything like that. We used to just go out and have, in fact, it was more of a social life than actual working to get a position in the final.
So really, because in them days, I mean, we have lots of races on one day now, but in them days, you were just travelling for one event.
We used to travel over 100 mile
Yeah.
down to Cricklewood or the Palace, and the Palace had got a bar, and of course, as soon as the racing was finished, it was down in the old.
So if you didn't qualify from your heat, that was it. It was all over for you. You just sit and watch the rest of them and then go to the bar.
Yeah. Well, as soon as you were out, you were in the bar. It was a good life. It was.
It must have took quite a while in them days then to get from Birmingham to London or wherever. Being 100 miles, was it still the yeah?
Used to take about hour and a half to get down to the Palace.
Oh really?
Well, it was flat out all the way. Because we'd all got motorbikes in them days.
Oh, is that how you used to get there on the motorbike?
Yeah, on a motorbike, yeah.
And did you ever race up north at Bradford or places like that?
We used to go up to Bradford. There wasn't a pub anywhere near, so some of the blokes wouldn't bother.
I was going to say, because there seemed to be a bit of a north-south divide. Did the Bradford lot seem to only ever enter the championship races down south?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Mm.
Yeah, they didn't seem to enter the other races.
Well, they weren't as bothered about the boozing side as all the rest of us.
Well, they'd got quite a way to go, I suppose, as well.
Yeah,
Back, I mean,
yeah.
like back up to Leeds and Bradford and places like that was quite a jaunt.
Oh, it was quite a jaunt. I mean, roads were atrocious.
Well, so in the early 50s then, you'd got Jackie Reeves and you'd got Dennis Hill and Jeff Wright as well, and people like this. And you were still, you were getting medals in the half-mile championship and Northern. It must have been really difficult, though, to get into the team in the early 50s with an established... Yeah, in the national team, the British team. Was you thinking about the British team at that time when you was...
As far as I know, there wasn't a British team.
Oh, right. Well, go on. Tell me about that then.
Oh, nothing ever said about it.
Really?
Yeah.
So
whether I was on the inside or on the outside, I don't know, but nothing was ever mentioned to me about it.
So there was no trials for you in the 50s, in the early 50s, and you never thought that...
Well, it was mainly Dennis Hill mob that did all the internationals. Nothing was ever said to us about it.
Do you think it was biased towards the London lot, do you? It's all right. No, speak your mind. I'm just...
Well, they were better skaters. I mean, we'd more or less... All we used to go out for was just a booze up at the end of the night.
Right.
So we never used to bother really about the skating side of it.
So what about Les? Because Les was... I'm talking about Les Woodley now for those who don't know. But Les was... he got into the national team in the early 50s. I think 53, was his first time so he must have known about the British team, and at that time you were skating for Birmingham with Les.
Yeah.
But you still, nothing was said to you about the team, or there was never a chance for you to go and try out for the team in them days?
Nothing was ever said about tryout.
Right. Okay. So...
Plus the fact I wasn't really bothered.
Really?
I wasn't really bothered about going down there and trialling.
You just enjoyed the social side and the...
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
Right, okay. Well, because you got medals in 51, 53, 52, 53, 54. 1955, for some reason, you didn't seem to do anything in 55 according to the record books. You might have raced, but there was no medals in 55 for you.
Can't remember.
Yeah, but
Didn't you give up?
What?
You gave up, didn't you?
did you have a bit of a? There was,
Yes.
but was that after Barcelona when you gave up, or before? Because I think how I look at it is when I look through all the records is that you went to Barcelona first. 55 was a bit of a lean year, but 56. Well, 56, you was really unsung in 56.
Yeah.
You come second in the mile championship, and at the Embassy against Leo. Do you remember coming second at the Embassy in the mile? No, this was when it all started. And then a week afterwards, you won the 5 mile at the Palace. Do you remember winning the 5 mile?
Yeah.
Do you remember what was that? Can you remember the race? Can you remember what it was
I
like?
can remember the race. Yeah.
How did that pan out? How did the race?
Quite easy.
Go on.
It's I won the heat quite easily.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the first time that I've been in a race that it had come easy. I must have trained myself up
Mm-hmm.
to take it quite easy, because I'd never bothered before. I was just doing it for fun.
Mm.
That's all I ever used to do it for. And I think it was Les Woodley that started inspiring us to get yourselves worked up so that you could do some international stuff.
Right.
And that's what we did.
So you got to the final of the 5 mile, and what was the final like? How did you feel when you won, and how close was it?
I don't know. It come quite easy. I don't know why, but I think I broke away at about 7 or 8 laps to go, and I just won it.
Really?
I think that's the first time I'd ever really bothered about winning.
Can you remember who was second and third?
No.
Well, I'll tell you. Second was Roy Parsons, and third was Alan Catty.
Huh?
There you go. And there's the 5 mile. So
Yeah.
and do you remember thinking like I mean, because to be a British champion, certainly in the 1950s, was a massive thing really for our sport. I mean, do you remember how you felt? Did you, was you that bothered, or
Well, in them days, the Birmingham mob, as we used to call ourselves,
Uh-huh.
the only thing they were bothered about was getting racing over and down the pub.
Well, the same year with the Birmingham club, actually, you won the relay. Oh well, first of all, you won the Chambers Trophy, big trophy. Actually, I'm going to ask you now about the Chambers Trophy, because you told me, but tell the camera, what did you used to keep in the Chambers Trophy?
The maggots for fishing.
Well, they say now all for the ladies relay, so I'm sure like when I next see them all, I'll tell them that back in 50 years ago, 60 years ago, there was maggots in this trophy. But you also won the relay as well, the 3 mile relay, and I think it was yourself, Leo, Les, and Bill Hemming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a good team, really.
Yeah.
That must have been a really strong team.
Mm.
So,
we'd trained for that.
for the relay,
For the relay, yeah.
right?
Passing. What they call it when you touch them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the takeovers.
Yeah, takeovers.
Yeah, yeah,
We practiced that
right.
on a smaller rink at Birmingham roller. We laid out a size rink
Right.
in the middle so that we could get used to
Where did you win it then? Where was the relay won? Which rink?
Palace.
Was it the Palace, was it?
Yeah.
So you laid out the Palace rink in the middle of the Embassy?
Yeah.
I understand now. Ah, okay. So you got the bends and the feel of the size of it.
Yeah. Well, it made it quite easy.
Ah, okay. It paid off then.
Mm.
So also in 1956 then, we're going to come to Barcelona and your World Championships and whatever. But so were there trials for the team in 56? Or was it selected on race performances? Can you remember?
Trials
Where were the trials held?
around London.
Were they?
I can't exactly remember exactly where it
Uh-huh.
was, but I know we had to go down to skate on the roads in London.
It weren't London Wall, was it? Moorgate.
Yeah,
Ah, yeah, I've seen. Yeah, okay.
that's it.
Yeah, I've seen some photos of that. Funny that Leo had.
Oh.
So you must have done all right in the trials then.
I think we sort of run it, with Woodley and myself and one or two of the others.
Well, when you were selected for Barcelona, did they tell you on the day, or did you have to wait for a letter, or what?
We had a letter.
And do you remember how you felt when you received the letter saying you're in the team?
I don't know.
Was you expecting yourself to be in the team, is what I'm asking. Did you think, when you did all the trials and you was British 5 mile champion, did you think, I'm going to be in the team this year? Or was it still nip and tuck? Was it still not sure?
I don't know. We all just took it as it come.
Okay.
Woodley and Ricky. It was Ricky, wasn't it?
No, in 56, the team was you, Les, Leo, and Jeff Wright.
Ah,
And Jeff Wright.
well, Jeff Rod was somebody we didn't expect.
Really?
Ah,
Okay. He was the So why was that? Was he not?
well, he was a good skater, but he didn't mix.
Right.
He was sort of somebody on his own.
Okay.
I mean, if you sort of went up to him and said, "We'll do so and so and so and so," he wouldn't take any notice.
Right. So he's very much his own skater.
He was all out for himself,
Really.
whereas the three of us were working together.
Do you think that's because you three were from the Birmingham club,
Very likely.
and he wasn't, or do you think it was characters?
Well, I mean, he was a good skater,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he just wanted to do well on his own.
Right.
I'm not saying anything else.
Oh, it's all right. Unfortunately, sadly, Jeff's no longer with us.
I know.
Yeah. But I know they say don't speak ill of the dead, but I'm just interested to get perspectives of people. You know what I mean? It's because everybody has an opinion on things. You know what I mean? I know I never knew Jeff Wright.
Jeff was all right.
Yeah.
I used to get on well with him.
Okay. Well, the track at Barcelona must have really suited you. You don't think so, no?
It was a concrete floor.
Yeah. Well, but was it slippery?
It was very slippery.
Yeah. And yet you got a bronze medal and 3 fourth places. So something must have clicked for you.
Well, being as we brought up more or less on slippy rinks, we knew we could handle it. A lot of people couldn't handle the slippy floors.
Mm. How big was it, Barcelona?
Oh, huge.
Was it?
We've got some pictures somewhere, haven't we?
Yeah.
Well, you got it, I haven't.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures.
you've seen it.
I've seen it. Yeah, I just wondered that.
Where they're all standing in various groups.
Yeah.
That was the size of the place.
Wow. So yeah, I have seen that now. Yeah. So it was a big rink then.
It was a big rink, yeah.
So it's bigger than like the Embassy, or
About the same size.
was
I
it
thought.
really?
Yeah.
So again, the size probably suited you.
Oh, it did.
So in the in the 5,000 metres, which is the World Championship race where you got the bronze medal, do you remember what happened in that? Because the reason I say that is I understand that Leo Eason fell coming to the line or with a lap to go or something like that, quite close to the finish, and he fell. Do you remember that happening? You don't remember that happening? No. And do you remember the guy who won it?
No.
Laureano Lori from Italy.
Some Italy.
Yeah.
Oh, some Italian.
Some Italian guy, yeah. Laureano Lori won it, and Les was second. Yeah, you didn't realise, if you didn't remember that Les coming second until today. No. So
well, they said to me, the reason I got third was that they disqualified the Italian.
Oh right, okay.
Because in actual fact, he did give me a good right push when we were going around the bend. I remember that. You know, he sort of come bustling up and shoved me out, and they disqualified him. But I was already, I'd already passed him a couple of laps earlier, I think.
Yeah.
And he come bustling up and shoved me out, and they immediately give him a red flag.
Oh right.
So that's I think is the only reason why I got third place. But I didn't know Les had got second. I mean, it was that jumbled when you were there. Everything all seemed to.
Yeah, it was quite chaotic, wasn't it? Yeah.
When the end of the race, when all the officials come on and all the Italians being very excitable, they were all.
Yeah. But did you enjoy the experience of Barcelona?
Yeah. Oh, I did. There was plenty of pubs. Oh, we all had a drink.
Yeah.
We all had went across the road to the pub, keep out of I can't remember his name.
George Lord, was it? Or
No, the other one.
Bert Lamb.
Bert Lamar, kept out of his way.
So how did you get on as a group? I mean, you know,
We got on very well.
because Pat Eason, or Pat Harris as she was, she was also in the team and she did quite well at those championships as well.
Yeah.
I think she got a medal in every race.
Mm.
So as a team, then did you feel you gelled quite well?
Oh, we did. We'd all trained together for months to get to this international.
Mm-hmm. What were the skates like? What wheels were you using? Wooden wheels were they in those days? Yeah.
But you sort of had to get your own wheels and everything.
Where did you get your wheels from?
Got the wheels from the rink at Birmingham.
They used to sell wheels at the
Yeah,
embassy.
sell the wheels. Well, yeah, there's nowhere else we can get them from.
So Barcelona, I remember you saying earlier that it was quite tiring though in Barcelona. Was that, you say, the travelling? How did you get to Barcelona?
Train
To Barcelona.
overnight train. Well, it was tiring, but it sort of, we got there, I think it was a couple of 3 days before the racing started, so we had time to build ourselves up.
And do you remember the relay? You did a relay, and it was you and Jeff Wright actually were partners in the relay.
Can't remember.
I can't remember the relay. I know this is the one where Leo skated for Germany. But you don't remember the relay, no? Because I think you come third in the relay. So after you come back in 1956 from Barcelona, you then went and won the League Cup at the Palace. I don't know if you remember that. It was soon after you were on the League Cup. It was a handicap, and you was off 5 yards.
Oh yes. Oh.
Yeah, and so you must have still been in some real good form at that time, some good shape. I mean, to be in, to have got a medal in the World Championships, and the reason I mention this particular race is that because second to you was a guy called Graham Cox. And I don't know if you remember a guy called Graham Cox. He skated for Broadway. Anyway, the reason I mention it is because I got in touch with him a couple of weeks ago because he lives near me now. He lives in
Is it?
Kettering, yeah. And I just happened to find a bit of paper with his name and number on, so I gave him a call. Anyway, that was I didn't know if you remembered Graham Cox, but that was the reason for bringing it up. The year after Barcelona, 1957, the World Championships were supposed to be in Palermo. Well, they were in Palermo, and we didn't send a national team.
Didn't know anything about it.
You don't know that, no? Because I wondered if that was. I know that Jean was saying that you stopped for a while, and I wondered if that had anything to do with you stopping for a while. Because I never find your name, so around about 57, 58, 59.
I'll pack it in.
Yeah, and I was going to ask about that. So what made you pack it in then?
I'd had enough.
Of what? Racing or people or travelling? What?
Bit of everything.
Really?
I just wanted a quiet life for it.
Did you get one?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I hadn't got to keep thinking about, are my skates all right? Have I got the right wheels on or anything like that? That's all. I mean, that's all that I'd worried about
Mm-hmm.
for years.
Didn't you go motorcycling? Didn't you do your motorcycling?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Joined the amateur motorcycling
Oh, right.
club, and we used to go to all the various races and things. I just wanted to change for a while.
Did you, when you stopped round about then, did you ever think that you would get back into it, or was you just at that time prepared to take a clean break from it, to stop
I was
altogether?
prepared to take a clean break.
You thought this is it?
I don't know. I think it was. I don't know if it was Woodley or one of them. Come up and started talking. Said, "Why don't you start skating again?" So I did. I started skating.
So somebody talked you into it, did they?
Oh, they yeah. I don't know who it was, but I know somebody sort of said, "Why don't you come back?"
Yeah.
Because I think they were having a bit of trouble at the rink,
Right.
one way or the other.
Well,
Didn't they changed the name of the club to the Midland?
this is what I was going to come to. You must have come back because the Birmingham club with Leo and Pat East and that still existed.
Yeah.
But Les and Barbara had broken
yeah.
away
Yeah.
to form
That's
the
right.
Midland Club. Well, they didn't form the Midland Club, but they'd joined the Midland Club. I think it had formed a year or two earlier. But when you come back then, I'm guessing you came back and skated for Midland.
That's right.
Is that because Les was in the Midland Club? Or
I think it was
different?
Les that talked me into coming back.
He would have been.
He was very good at that sort of thing.
Was he really? Very persuasive, was he?
Oh, he just kept on.
He ain't changed.
I guessed.
But so you come back then. So you're now skating for Midland, but again, you must have been very, very fit at the time, because you came back and almost immediately you were really, back on song, or doing quite well in races.
Well, it come easy. I mean, once you've done it, it don't take a lot of sort of power to get back into it again.
So, how would you describe yourself as a skater? Would you say you was a natural skater, or somebody who really had to work hard to get somewhere?
I must have been a natural skater because I didn't work all that hard. It come easy.
Really? So you got talked back into your skating then, and this must have been about 1959, 1960, I'd suggest. and then you're named as the reserve for Wetteren. So, did you take place in trials for Wetteren?
Yes,
I think they were held around the Tower Hill.
that's it.
Yeah, I think I've got some photos of that.
Well, what happened with that was I got a bad tooth, and I had it out a week before the trial started,
Right.
and whatever they injected into me slowed me down because I just couldn't do it.
Right.
But by the time that the actual trials come, I was back on song again. So when they had the intermediate race,
Yeah.
I won that quite easily
Really, in Wetteren.
in Veteran.
So you fancied your chances at a shot at a world title then, really? Or you
Well,
had you been in the
not
team?
really, no.
No. It must have been. I mean, to have won the intermediate race, you must have been doing quite well.
Oh, I was coming back up again, but I don't know.
Was you disappointed at not making the team, as not being selected for the team?
Not really.
Didn't bother you that much, no?
No.
That was the year that Bert Lamb and Henry Crystal pulled the team out. If you remember, I don't know if you remember 1960. That was the year that I think Leo got disqualified or declassified to last place, and Barbara, there'd been a bit of an upset in one of the knockout stages, and the team was withdrawn. Do you remember that at all?
I've had a lot to do, but it's completely gone.
Gone, yeah.
I never used to bother myself with all the ins and outs.
The politics of it.
That's it.
Yeah. Right. I just wondered if you remember the situation and yeah, because when the reports I've read, the English crowd were up in arms and were booing and and it was all getting all out of hand. But you don't remember any of that at Wetteren?
I never used to involve myself in that.
No.
Booing.
Yeah. Well, from what I read,
What?
there was no booing.
Yeah, booing.
No. But that was the time. I think Barbara got bronze in one of the races in Wetteren as well in the World Championships because she was in the team.
I don't know.
Mm. So as I said, we've got to the stage of skating for Midland, and I think we've established that was because Les or whoever persuaded you back, and they're in the team. In 1961, so you've come back skating, you're doing all right. Then in 1961, you get third in the 1 mile championship. This time skating for Midland, and it was Les and Danny Kelly who were first and second. You got the bronze. Do you remember that at all?
No.
You don't remember the race, and that year, and this is the particular point I wanted to see if you remembered. This was that in '61, you won the relay with Les, Danny, and Ricky, and you on the Embassy. Now, the 2 previous years had been Les, Danny, Ricky, and Ray Roberts. And then in '61, you took Ray's place in the team. Do you remember that at all, that situation?
No.
You don't? You just... Because I wondered how the team was selected. Was it just the best skaters go in the team, or...?
Well, there was only us in the club. Just Ricky, Les, myself, and who else?
You don't remember Ray being around?
Ray Roberts.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember Ray.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that's all there was.
Right.
Roughly.
So I just where I was coming from is that because Ray had been in the team the 2 previous years, and then this year '61, which was a really fast time by the way that you put up. I think it might have been a track record or something, but you must have been really going quite quickly in the relay in '61. But
Where was it?
at the Embassy,
Oh well, that was our own.
yeah, I think he won it by about half a lap. Certainly good 100 yards. Yeah. Okay. That said, my question was really around the Ray Roberts, and you took Ray's place, or Ray had been in the team for the two
Well,
previous
Ray
years.
went back into the other club, didn't he? I believe.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know that.
I think there was a bust up in the club. One way or the other, and I think he went back into the other club, because there was a lot of the reason that I packed it up
Yeah.
at the end of that year,
Yeah.
because there was a lot of bad feeling
Oh right, I didn't know that.
between the blokes in the two clubs.
Between Birmingham and Midland.
Yeah,
Really.
there was some really bad feeling.
What was the cause of that?
I don't know.
Right.
I didn't get interested in the politics of the thing,
Right.
but all of a sudden there was a sort of a threatening era.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to thump you and.
Oh really? It
come
got
over
that
here.
bad, yeah.
So I packed it in again.
I had enough of that sort of side of it.
Oh, why should I put up with it?
Right. Because it's funny. I wondered why you go, because I know that I said you won the relay. Then later on that year, towards the end of the year, you got another bronze medal in the Northern Midland counties again, and then you did just a couple more races. But earlier we spoke about the Squire Cup at Rochester Casino. Tell me about the day before it. Remember we had the conversation about it was the half-mile championship the day before on Brixton.
Oh, that.
Yeah, well, you've told me. Tell me again for the record.
What, for dropping out?
Yeah. So how did that come about? Because you was telling me about the rink and tell me the story.
Well, we all went down to, where was it?
Brixton.
Brixton. I'd never skated on the floor before, and they said it was a round ring,
Big rink. Yeah.
a big ring, big round ring, and I sort of lost interest. I thought to myself, I'm not going to bother with this lot. And they kept on saying, go on, get on the line. Get on the line. And I thought, well, I ain't going to do anything. But they would insist on me getting onto the line. So they called the the rink the
Starters.
starters,
Yeah.
and I got on the line, and I thought, bloody hell. I don't fancy this one little bit. So, went through the rigmarole of starting. The other three went, and I just stood there, and I went and had a cup of tea.
Well, I think it's safe to say what we've gained so far from this interview is that you're very much your own bloke. You know what I mean? Is that you'd as much like to go and have a pint afterwards as you would to go and win a race, and if it didn't take your fancy, you wouldn't do it. Nobody was going to cajole you into it.
Exactly.
Well, so but the next day then Rochester, yeah.
Yeah.
So I understand from the Brixton point of view, Jean, your wife, weren't very happy then because she come all the way to Brixton to watch your race, and you didn't even go off the start. so you made an impression there. So what happened the next day then?
Well, we went to Rochester. It was a nice little ring, skating round it all right. So I had a go.
And it was a 1 mile.
Yeah, 1 mile.
Scratch.
Mm.
Yeah, for the Squire Cup.
That's it.
Do you remember the race?
I remember the race.
Yeah. Can you remember how you won it?
Yeah.
Go on in.
Woodley let me through.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
He said, well, he never said anything at the time, but we were skating, making a race of it, and he was in the front, and I think must have been pushing him, because all of a sudden he did that, you see. So I thought, oh, if you don't want it, I'll have it. So I went whizzing past him.
Oh, right.
The only trouble was he got disqualified.
Was that for letting you through, was it?
Yeah.
You got disqualified?
Yeah.
Because second and third in that race. Second was a guy called Ron Hawkes, who, funny enough, I've spoken to recently. And second was John Foley, I should say, and third was Ron Hawkes, both of whom I've spoken to. John Foley I've interviewed, and John Foley went on to become a world champion in 1969 in Argentina. Yeah. So there's one for the record books. So as I said, you only did a couple more races after that. That took us into 1962. I think you did the Palace Trustees in the February, and then you did the 5 mile in the March, and then that was it. You called it a day totally.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the 5 mile at the Palace was one of them races where somehow things didn't seem to click.
Mm.
So I thought, I've had enough of this.
And nobody was going to talk you back into it this time.
I thought it's about time I packed it in.
So you'd have been, what, 32 then? You'd have been 32?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd had enough of racing.
Mm-hmm.
Plus all the infighting that was going on in Brum anyway,
Really?
between the two clubs.
Mm.
I thought, I don't see why I should have to put up with this.
Mm. So you went and got married?
Best thing I ever did.
Oh, there you go. See, so something good came out of it.
Well, you got to make a change at some time or other.
Mm-hmm. So, and I know you married Jean in 62. And Les was your best man, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah.
And you were Les's best man in 56.
Yeah.
So, were you best friends?
Oh, we're good friends.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd known him since he was at school.
Really?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I didn't know that.
Eh?
I didn't know that.
Oh. We had a good friendship, young Les and me.
Yeah. Young Les, yeah, cool, yeah. What is he, 7 years younger than you? Is he
Something like that,
something like that, yeah. Yeah.
I always was the one that used to fall over him when his skates broke.
So did you socialise much with Les and Barb then, or?
Socialised with Les, but when they got married, it's sort of, that was it.
When you got married? Or
No,
when
Les got married.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The social side stopped so much, did it, yeah?
Yeah, well, it stopped altogether.
Really?
Practically.
Oh, why would that be? Just...
He got other things to do.
I don't know. He'd married Barbara, and he got himself a nice little flat. So when you went round, you were sort of you felt as though you were
imposing.
Imposing, yeah.
Mm. And it's always difficult to know when you know friends get married and move on, and you know, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I understand that. So just going back to the racing then, so you sort of answered my question really when you said that Les let you through. Because I was saying, was there a lot of teamwork within the club, or was it every man for himself?
No, a lot of teamwork.
Yeah.
We used to skate.
Through the curtains, I think.
Eh?
Curtains.
Do you want to win?
Yeah, we were just saying about teamwork and or was it every man for himself? But there was a lot of teamwork.
There was when Ricky and Les and myself and who was the other one?
Ricky, Danny Kelly,
No, not Danny Kelly.
Leo Eason. Yeah.
We used to sit and have a chat about the racing and one thing or another.
Yeah.
And we used to work it out as to what was going to happen.
Which was the better club to skate for, Birmingham or Midland?
The Birmingham club.
Why was that?
Well, because Ricky and Les was there.
Right.
They didn't. I don't think they joined the Midland club. It was only because they talked me into. Well, I just started to come back again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they said, why don't we join the Midland, because Les and Ricky
Yeah.
were sort of winning everything.
Yeah.
And they got a bit fed up with it, so they wanted me to go in to get a few
Bit of competition.
yeah.
But you preferred to have skated for Birmingham. When you in your skating career, you preferred
Oh yeah.
when you was with Birmingham and with Leo and that. So your skating career, you was doing it for about 12 years, on and off at times. But it spanned, as I looked at it, 2 generations. You'd got when you first started, you got your Dennis Hill, John Watley's, Jackie Reeves, Jeff Wright, and then later on, you've got your Leo Easons, your Danny Kellys, Ricky Mays, Les Woodleys. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So because like I said, you were sort of a middleman in between two real generations of good skaters. Who were the better skaters? Your Hills, your Watleys, your Jackie Reeves, or your Easons, your Woodleys, and your Ricky Mays? Who do you think were the better skaters that you came up against?
I think they were equal.
Really?
Because they were all good skaters. They were all more or less in the same category as myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm afraid I'm one of them type of blokes who did it for enjoyment.
Yeah. They were quite serious about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
they chop your head off if you don't get out the road.
Really?
Oh.
And you were never like that then? If you won, you won. If you didn't, you didn't.
I just did it for fun. And if I happened to get a medal, well, so be it. I was never one to worry about am I going to win it or anything like that. I just used to do it. If I got a medal, I got a medal.
Mm.
I mean, I got all them seconds in the Midland mile. Don't worry me. The only time I ever won it, I got disqualified.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that. I didn't know you got disqualified in one. Was you disappointed, or was it?
I thought, God blimey, I'd really kill myself for that lot. And they said I'd pushed him out the road. I might have done, I don't know.
You don't remember who won it then? You can't remember who won it?
I don't remember who won it.
So, who was the best skater you came up against, do you think?
The best?
Yeah. If you could put one name on a bit of paper, who would you put down?
I'd say Les Woodley.
Yeah.
I mean, he was all out to get as much as he possibly could. So I thought, well, you carry on.
And you think he was the top guy at the time?
Well, he was in a lot of the races.
Yeah.
What's the matter?
Who was that?
Huh?
Who?
Les Woodley. Do you think you could have gone on longer?
No,
Had enough?
I'd had enough.
Physically maybe, but not mentally? Or is that?
Mentally, no, I'd had enough. Well, it's just when I packed it in the first time, I thought, this is it, I've had enough.
Yeah.
No more of this fighting and one thing or another. There used to be a lot of that.
Mm.
But I never used to. I used to think to myself, I can't understand why they're doing it. It's only a bloody race.
It hasn't changed.
Eh?
No. 60 years on and it hasn't changed.
I don't suppose it ever will.
No. That's sport. That's
Yeah,
what I mean. That's what it is.
If you're in a sport and you're determined to get on, you'll get on. But I'm afraid I did it for my own gratification.
Yeah.
If I got a medal, I got a medal.
So what did you do when you stopped skating?
What did I do?
Well,
I took up work, I think.
Yeah, really?
Well, I got myself a good job. It was giving me...
we did lots of socialising, didn't we?
Eh?
We socialised with Ken, and every weekend was
Ken Thrasher.
yeah. Every weekend we were going somewhere, doing something.
Yeah. So it turned, although it was social for you, you had more of a social life after the skating.
Yeah.
You never,
Well,
go on, sorry.
I forgot. Go on.
I can say, you never thought about becoming an official? Or, you
Oh,
know.
no. Oh, no.
Yeah, somehow I couldn't imagine you being that. That never struck you as being one of the
Oh,
things
no.
you'd have done. No. So,
I haven't got the patience.
had you not? What are your fondest memories of the skating times? That 10, 12 years. What would you, if you could carry a memory away with you now? What's your fondest memory, you reckon?
Well, it'd be the early days when I first started it. There was a bloke called Bunny Bennett.
Hmm.
He was a right bloody rogue, he was. But I used to get on well with him. We used to go out boozing.
So that was so them were your sort of the early days, really, when there was no politics involved,
right,
and it
yeah,
was
yeah.
just skating.
You were just skating to be with a group of blokes who were all doing the same thing. They'd all got motorbikes.
Yeah.
We'd all got motorbikes. We used to go out boozing practically every other night.
And it was the good old days.
Oh, it was.
Yeah. Do you wish you could relive some of those days?
Sometimes.
Do you ever think about those old days? Do they ever crop up in conversation still, or has it taken me to come round here to talk to you about it, to rekindle some old memories, or
Yes.
yeah?
I don't usually bother.
Really? It was interesting. I know Jean was saying that you know, some of your family didn't realise that the level that you'd achieved within your sport. Really,
Nobody did.
really.
He's very modest, and he's not competitive, as you've gathered.
Yeah. Well. I think there's a competitiveness there that probably is not. It's not in the same light as your Les Woodleys as a competitor. Like you said, he'd take your head off to get the medal, but you still fought for a place to. You know, when you was up there, you know, you was. How can I say it? You must have had some competitiveness to have been as good as you was. You don't get to be a bronze medalist in a world championship by not being a competitor. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
You know, but I do understand that you probably wasn't as intense as somebody like Les, maybe. You know, it came to you naturally.
He was determined to win at any cost.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I couldn't be like that.
You couldn't be like that. No.
If I got a medal, so be it.
And it's funny because I'm if I was to describe myself, I'm probably more like Les.
Yes.
Yes. But that doesn't mean to say that there's a right and a wrong. It's different people, you know. But you know, and I still admire and respect all the things you did. You know, like I said, without Graham Stead, you know, the sport, you know, it would be a sad loss for the sport. You know, it needs people like Graham Steads as it needs the people like Les Woodleys.
Yeah.
You know. So, well, the one last thing I'm going to say is that there's a race meeting in Birmingham in May, and I'll give you the dates later. But do you think that you might be popping along to have a look? Would you be interested, or if you're out and about?
May. What date is it?
It's the weekend of the it's the bank holiday weekend. It's a Sunday.
I think.
Never mind. Well, there's a few, but I'll write to you with a few
Sunday.
dates. It's a Sunday. I'll write to you with a few dates, and you're more than welcome to pop along. But anyway.
Have you this rink
Yes.
on this waste ground?
Have you
Yes.
turned it off now?
No, not yet. Nearly.
Can you send me a drawing of it?
Yes.
Only the couple of times that I've been there,
Yeah.
it was only by the sheer luck of me recognising the driver in the car, of being one of the skaters, that I managed to find it.
I'll sort it all out for you. But for now, what I'm going to say, I'm going to end it here. And the reason that is because my tape's flashing that I've got about 30 seconds left. So we've done a fantastic hour. But for me, it's been an absolute pleasure to sit down and talk to one of the sports greats. And, well, Graham George Stead, thank you very much for your time. It's been much appreciated.
Right, great.
Well, you're very, very thorough.
Thank you very much.
You must have a memory.
Team manager,
No, we weren't. Two was team manager. Bob was team manager in '79
Levain.
in Louvain. Yeah, Feetham was racing.
Oh, yes, he was. Yeah, yeah. It was the world's Levain, wasn't it? Yeah.